Hello everyone and welcome to today's lesson. Today's lesson is our environment. And the important points of today's lesson are pollution of the environment, biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste, save the environment and useful trees. Now, before we get into the lesson, here is something to boost your knowledge. Nowadays, we are seeing that the earth is polluted. The air, water and soil are polluted. This is not safe for us. So, can you tell me two bad effects of water pollution? Well, two that I know are, the first is that it kills a lot of animals and fish in the sea. And number two is that it causes a lot of diseases. Our environment contains living and non-living things. The living things are the plants, which we also call flora, and animals, which we call fauna. The non-living things in the environment are things like air, water, rocks, soil, etc. Now the living and non-living things together are the natural resources. Natural resources are very important for our needs. Everything that we use, shoes, clothes, cars, buses, etc. are what we make and use from the natural resources. Pollution of the environment. Now, the non-living things in nature are free, but to enjoy our life, we tend to overuse them. When we manufacture and then discard things, we pollute the air, water and soil. The increase in population has changed the environment. Let us have a look how we humans have polluted the air, water and soil. Polluted air. We need clean air to breathe, but owing to our carelessness, we have polluted the air in towns and cities. So let us learn how we polluted the air. What do you think happens to the smoke and poisonous gases that come out of factories or vehicles? These gases mix with the clean air and pollute it. Bursting crackers on Diwali or any other festival also pollutes the air. This polluted air causes breathing problems and also causes irritation in the eyes of living beings. Reducing air pollution. But how can we save our environment from air pollution? Here are some tips that you must keep in mind to save the environment. Walk short distances. Do not use a bike or scooter. Turn off your car engines when you are at junctions or at traffic signals. Use a carpool or a bus pool to go to school. Try and use public transport. Use cycles to go short distances. Plant a lot of trees. Now, how many of these will you implement? And are there any more that you can think of? Polluted water. 3/4 of the earth is covered with water, but most of it is salty and unusable. Only 3% of the earth's water is fit for human use, and only 1% is fit for drinking. But humans have managed to pollute even this small amount of water. Let us have a look how we polluted water. The dirty water from our houses, shops and factories is sent to the drains. Now this water contains soaps, chemicals, etc. This dirty water from the drains is then dumped into rivers and it pollutes the rivers. Farmers use fertilizers to grow crops. These fertilizers end up polluting the groundwater, rivers and lakes. All of this causes water pollution. Many harmful germs grow in polluted water and they cause diseases like jaundice, diarrhea and typhoid. Chemicals that pollute the water also kill the aquatic life, which is the plants and animals. Now, did you know acidic gases like sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide that are released from factories, houses and cars cause acid rains? Saving water. There are some very simple tips that we can use to save water. For example, repair the taps that are leaking. Don't waste water. Don't keep the tap running while you brush or using the washroom. Use a bucket to take bath. Use water in a bucket while washing your car and not running water. Use water that is used in the kitchen to water plants. When harmful material mixes with the soil, it spoils the soil and it causes soil pollution. Anything that is left over or is not used is thrown away as waste. This waste comes from our houses, factories and agricultural fields. There is so much waste that is produced and so little space to dispose of it. What do you think we should do to reduce our waste? What do you think we should do to control the waste that we produce? Biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. Polluted soil. Some wastes like vegetable peels, fruits and paper decay very quickly and mix with the soil. These are called biodegradable wastes. Parts of a plant, animal dung, etc. are also biodegradable wastes. We make manure from biodegradable waste. The waste is put in a compost pit. Here, the worms eat it up to make manure. The waste decomposes in around 45 to 90 days. It then becomes manure. This manure, when added to the soil, helps plants grow better in that soil. Non-biodegradable waste can be reused using chemicals. For example, we make cheap plastic buckets or mugs using recycled plastic. Metal, rubber and glass are also recycled in the same way. Now what do you do with your old newspapers or broken glass mugs or plates? Your leftover vegetable peels, the polythene bags and plastic bottles, old toothbrushes or shampoo bottles, or even your old clothes and shoes that you don't use anymore. Now, did you know it takes 450 years for plastic to decompose? Save the environment. We can do our part in saving the environment by using the 3 R's. The 3 R's are reduce, reuse and recycle. Reduce. Reduce means to use less or choose things that you can use again. For example, use towels, cloths or a handkerchief instead of a tissue paper. But only choose things that you really need. Reuse. Reuse means to use again or finding other ways to use the things before you throw them away. For example, you can give your old books to a library and give your old shoes and clothes to poor people. Recycle. Recycle means to recycle the waste to use it again. Some important tips that we can all follow to save the environment are: divide the waste into 2 parts, into biodegradable and non-biodegradable parts. Do not litter. Put the waste in public dustbins and don't litter your roads or your surroundings. Now, did you know gobar gas is a cooking gas that comes from cow dung? Useful trees. If we want to save our environment, we must protect our forests and trees. Trees are our helpers and friends. Trees are really useful for all of us. They hold the soil firmly and prevent soil erosion. They also provide us with oxygen to breathe. Save trees. We should not cut down trees. If we cut down 1 tree for our use, we must plant 3 trees. We use trees to make paper. So, we must not waste paper and use both sides of paper. In villages, people use firewood for cooking. We must change that and use liquefied petroleum gas or LPG for cooking. So here is a quick sum up of today's lesson. Our environment contains living and non-living things. It is home to different plants and animals. Humans have polluted the air, soil and water. Plant a number of trees to save the environment. Use biodegradable material and reduce, reuse and recycle all things. So here is the glossary of today's lesson. Pollution. Introducing into the environment something which is harmful. Overuse, which means overworked. And drains, a construction that makes water or any liquid in something go away. So here is a mind map of today's lesson. Our environment has living and non-living things. The pollution is of three kinds: air pollution, water pollution, and soil pollution. We have to reduce air pollution, we have to save water, and we have to use soil in many ways. To save the environment, we must reduce, reuse, and recycle. Trees are very useful to us. We must save the trees.